I'd been wanting to go into law enforcement since I was in high school. Once I got to high school, I met a good resource officer who really had an impact on my life. I joined the Air Force right out of high school, spent 2 years overseas, and then made my way down to Robbins. I got out medically and then found out I didn't have to go through the law enforcement academy since I was prior military police, and I joined on Bibb County. I worked at the courthouse for 6 months. Ever since then, I got out on the road and I've been enjoying it. It means the world to me. It's what I always dreamed of doing. December 1st, I was down at 111 3rd Street talking to one of our property investigators. I heard them tone out a call. They said that somebody's standing on the bridge on top of Spring Street. I immediately ended that conversation, threw on my lights and sirens, and took off that direction. It was just around the corner. I was the first one on scene. I seen him standing up. He was up on the barricade itself, so nothing was preventing him from falling or jumping. Parked my car. I ran up the hill as fast as I could. As soon as I could just get behind him and got close enough, I just grabbed him and pulled him down for his own safety and just talked to him, figured out what was going on, and then got him to the hospital so he can get the help he needed. It was just the heat of the moment. I knew what I was there for, and so I did what I felt like I needed to do. That's my job. That's what I'm there for. That's why I put this badge and this uniform on for every day. I enjoy the pace here in Macon. It's high pace. It's a lot of hustling and bustling. But my career goals is hopefully to get on with K-9. That's what I wanted to do in the military. Unfortunately, didn't get that opportunity, but I'm gonna get it here. I think it's important to have an organization like the Shield Club. I would like to say thank you first and foremost for the honor, and I appreciate the support. Like I said, it goes unnoticed more often than not, and I just want to personally say thank you.
I grew up around the fire station. My granddaddy was a battalion chief for 43 years for the Macon-Bibb County Fire Department. It was kind of in my blood. So after college, I did a few things and I decided to join because it's kind of something I always wanted to do. The Macon-Bibb County Fire Department actually means something to me, so it's not a job. I grew up around here. This is my community. I'm there to protect them, to help them in their time of need, and it means something.
Growing up, I kind of always wanted to help people, and I felt like being a part of the Macon-Bibb Fire Department, that was going to be a good position for me to be able to help my community. Past 2 years since I've been on the job, I feel like I have matured mentally and physically. I love this job. I'm traded for nothing in the world. I feel like a hero, actually. You know, to put on this uniform.
What made me want to be in the fire service was my whole family's history of working in the medical field and law enforcement. Nobody in my family has ever been in the fire service, so I figured that I'd give it a shot, and 8 years later, I'm still here and still loving it.
The call we got nominated for was a structure fire. I actually was at another structure fire at the time, and the call came out that there was an elderly woman who said that her kitchen was on fire and she couldn't get out. And then the phone went dead. When we got there, the first incoming engine had just pulled up and caught a water source or a fire hydrant.
My job was to make sure that we had water. So after doing my job and charging all the hose lines, I connected the truck to the hydrant and started to assist. As I was working, I noticed engine 12 with Captain Trice and Griffin, and I know those guys and I've worked with them in the past, so I know that they're gonna be solid and get right to work.
My company from Bloomfield was the second truck they arrived on scene. Engine 7 made entry to do a search and to actually put the fire out, and me and my company came up. We thought we saw a shadow. Chief Edwards thought he saw somebody in the structure. I got Private Griffin, and I grabbed him and said, "Hey, she's right there toward the kitchen, let's go." So we took off in the house.
My guys had gone in to try to find where the fire was coming from. By that time, the smoke had come out of the structure just a little bit because it was pretty low and visibility was pretty much non-existent. And at that time, Captain Trice and Griffin were able to go in through the front door and find the victim that was laying on the floor.
Inside of a house fire, you know, it's low visibility. You barely can see anything because of the smoke. As I stayed low, I kind of seen the patient, and I was able to grab her at a quick amount of time.
He's the one that actually found her in the structure and drug her out, and then me and him carried her off from front part of the house to the yard. She was lifeless at this time, so I started CPR on the victim.
I grabbed our medical bags to start doing first aid. Shortly after, the ambulance arrived, and then we assisted the EMS with loading the patient. Jumped on the ambulance and started assisting the paramedics with CPR and ventilating. And then on the way there, she started getting her pulse, heart rhythm back, and then able to take some breaths by herself. So.
I actually talked to her son a few weeks later, and she made a recovery. The fast attack of we made to go ahead and go with our gut and say, oh, I think that is a person, probably saved her life.
This was my first call that I ever experienced with somebody possibly inside, so it was nerve-wracking, but I was able to get the job done. For me to know that she survived, I feel amazing.
I believe it's really important to have an organization like the Shield Club so that people do get recognized in a way. I definitely look at my job as an opportunity to be able to help. It's an honor to be selected.
Your fire department in Macon is going to do all they can to protect you in any way we can. Unless it's an emergency, you don't really think about us. I'd like to say to the Shield Club that we appreciate the outpour of the community that you do for public safety in Macon-Bibb County.
I began having a job and was working retail. And it's nothing against retail, but I felt as though for me, I wanted something that I felt like was having a purpose in the community of which I grew up in. Macon Police Department happened to be the first thing to come in front of me. So that's the opportunity that I took, and now here I am.
There's no greater sense of pride to me. Basically protecting the streets that I grew up on. It brings great joy to my heart. Wouldn't change it for anything in the world. October of 2023 had 4 individuals escape the Bibb LEC via a day room window, carved out the window with tools or whatever, and was able to escape. Honestly, I couldn't wrap my mind around, what happened.
It was kind of an all hands on deck, needing assistance with getting these inmates back into the LEC. My captain went down to the LEC to find out what was going on. Sergeant Bird and I, we worked hand in hand in the investigation alongside with Captain Batchelor, who kept everything as a whole with Bibb County Sheriff's Office and the other agencies like U.S. Marshals and the FBI. So Sergeant Bird and I would be considered 2 of the lead investigators for the escape.
With the resources that we had, we knew, it was a good chance we would apprehend all of the subjects. You had 4 individuals basically acting independently, but that probably was the most challenging part of this entire investigation. It was the perfect marriage between technology and just good old-fashioned police work.
We started utilizing the resources that we had, U.S. Marshals, FBI, and doing as much digging as we could to locate these individuals. Information started coming in. You gotta have a lot of structure with something this scale.
I can't say enough about the other agencies that helped us out, whether it's being, the ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals. It's a great feeling because we spent endless nights and there was a lot of early morning meetings, just everybody brainstorming. I try to take something from every case. The cases we are involved in, they're the same cases, just different names. But this one was kind of new, I think, to everybody. I'm pretty sure it's something that everybody could take from this case.
I think the Shield Club is a very important program. Shield Club, I appreciate everything that you do for law enforcement as a whole and for law enforcement's family. Things like this matter, and just the recognition in itself, it helps us keep going.
I think everything about the Shield Club is amazing. It's really a good feeling to be honored and rewarded for all your hard work. Let's keep it up, and thank you.